really happy to be interviewing Anwar Sheikh today about his life and his work. So, Anwar, maybe we can begin with maybe some sort of prehistory. Could you just tell us a little bit about your early life? How did being the son of a diplomat inform your social interests? Did that help you come to economics in some way? Maybe we could just start off with that sort of.
Sure. My early life is very interesting and unusual in more ways than one. I was born in India before partition, so I got to see the horrors of that transition. My father was a Muslim, my mother was a Christian. So I lived in a very ecumenical household that didn't attach itself to any particular religion, was accepting of both. I went to a Catholic school in Karachi, which has some disadvantages also, but anyway, I got some exposure. And then when my father joined the Foreign Service, we went to Turkey. So I began to see the dimension of the world, so to speak, get some sense of the dimension of India and then Pakistan. And one thing that always troubled me tremendously was the difference between the lives of ordinary people and the poverty and misery they had to endure and the lives of people who were privileged. We were somewhat privileged. We weren't rich, but, diplomats live a fairly good life. And that, I think, marked me very much. My mother was quite an independent woman, so in many important ways that idea that women should have rights seemed to me pretty obvious from the start. And my father supported that fully. He supported all three of us, my brother, sister, and I, getting an education at the best level. So my brother, who's the youngest, went to Yale. My sister, who was in the middle, went to Brown, and I went to Princeton. And we did so as scholarship students. So we also learned the virtue of working. My father never saw anything wrong with working in order to support yourself. So at times I worked in a laundromat, I worked in a bookstore, but I got fired because I started reading the books, and that is not allowed in bookstores at Princeton. And I really think that in some way it demystifies wealth and power if you see people up close, so to speak, if you've seen both sides of it. And I think that motivated me in another sense. Coming from Pakistan, you see a country which is desperately poor, and one of the things you are told is just not enough money. It'll take a long time for people to have any decency. And that's not quite true. The laws are frequently very unfair, and poverty is not natural in some sense. But it wasn't until I graduated from Princeton and I went to Kuwait where I saw a country who had too much money, and yet there were poor people, often Indians and Pakistanis, Jordanians, Palestinians, working in the desert. And I myself was working in the desert as an engineer. Mm-hmm. So that led me to think about why is that? And I thought by going to graduate school, I would be told what the answer to that was. And I discovered that was not what you learn in economics.